Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. It may be the middle of summer, but it won't be long until we're starting to think about putting up hay for the winter. So just how much does a bale of hay actually cost? To run the numbers, here's OSU Extension ag economist Dr. Eric DeVuyst.
Hello, I'm Eric DeVuyst, Extension economist at Oklahoma State University in the Department of Agricultural Economics. Today I want to talk to you about the economic cost of a bale of hay. It's haying season in Oklahoma. I hope by the time this airs, you've wrapped up putting up your prairie or native hay grasses. One of the things that we see frequently is producers are not thinking about what are all the costs that go into a bale of hay. Of course, people know about the baling cost, but if you bale it yourself, what should that cost be? Well, we recommend putting in what are the custom rates right now in your area, because that's your opportunity cost. In other words, if you didn't bale your own hay, how much could you get for baling somebody else's hay? For baling a round of hay, a 5x6 round, 1,400 pounds, we could expect to spend around $28 to have that done custom for the cutting, raking, and baling. So we use that to represent the opportunity cost of putting up a bale of hay. Then we have land charge into that. We need to be charging something for ourselves, for our own land, even if it's ours and we're not paying rent to somebody, we're de facto paying rent to ourselves internally. And so about $25, 20 to 25, maybe 30 for more productive grounds. And then one of the most overlooked numbers is the cost of the nutrients in that bale of hay. So for native hay, prairie hay, we typically don't apply nitrogen. So we'll ignore that for a prairie bale of hay, but there's phosphorus in that bale. So you're looking at about 2.5 pounds of phosphorus in that bale of hay. Most of our soils in Oklahoma, a large percentage of them, are deficient in phosphorus. If I don't replace that over time, I'm going to affect that plant community that's there. I'm probably going to get some lower quality forages. That 2.5 pounds of phosphorus is going to cost you about $5 plus per round for a 1,400 pound bale of hay. If we have 1.1 tons to the acre for our prairie hay, we're looking at about $51 a bale for a 1,400 pound bale of prairie hay, native hay. And if you look at prices right now, you'll see them all over the place, $35 to $55 depending on how big they are, the quality of the hay. And so at $50, if you're selling that for $50, you're pretty close to break even economically. But what that means is you're actually turning an accounting profit on it, because a number of those costs, including the phosphorus and the land charge, might just be internal. And so you're doing all right if you're getting about $50 a round. Less than that, you better to come back and see whether you're actually that's sustainable over time. Bermuda, this bale has about 3.4 pounds of phosphorus in that. And then we also are going to put nitrogen on that field. The nitrogen that's in the bale of Bermuda hay is only a fraction of what actually gets put down, because you're going to lose nitrogen to volatilization, and then you're going to get a lot of tissue growth that's not harvestable. The lower part of the stems, the roots, for example. So typical rate would be around 200 pounds of actual N per acre per year for Bermuda. So there's about $13 of nitrogen per bale that's applied, even though there's less nitrogen in the bale. And then we got almost $7 of phosphorus in a bale of Bermuda hay. So, and we're probably going to put herbicide down if we're trying to sell it as weed-free hay. It comes down to you're around $58 to $60 a bale for Bermuda hay. If you look at the hay markets right now, look at what's advertised out there. You'll see a lot of Bermuda hay in that $60 range right now. So if you can put that bale up and sell it for $60 a round, you're going to turn an accounting profit and break even in terms of economics